Well, the children first get introduced with the parts of speech through activities that we call key lessons or the key function of the part of speech. So if you are doing, for example, the verb, you would then have cards where they read and they have to do the action. If you can perform that part of speech in some way and link it to it having a meaning, it has more depth and it stays with them longer. So verbs are easy because so many of them are phonetic words. So even very young children can begin to read words and act them out. And then they try to guess each other's what they're doing. So it's kind of a game they play where they're doing these actions and they first kind of perform them and you try to guess what they are.
We're going to learn a new grammar symbol today, and in order to do that, I'm going to show you this. What do I have here in my hand? A ball.
We always give it a symbol to also kind of give this visual representation of what this part of speech is. And of course, we know that verbs are actions, and it represents a red ball. And so they have a big red circle, and in the bin in the classroom, there's a red ball to represent action.
All of those things that you were doing with this ball were actions. They were things that you were doing. So we use a red ball or a red circle to represent action words.
They will often, when in their writing, put that symbol, that red ball, above their verb. So it's very visual. Each part of speech is done in that way. It has a symbol.
Verb. And look at the symbol for adverb. It's the same shape as what? A verb. And Grant, what's the last word you hear in adverb? Verb. So when we think of adverb,
you're adding something to the verb.
You're adding something to the verb.
And then on in extensions through sentence analysis, where they begin to do some looking at the sentence and analyzing it, very similar to diagramming. And of course, you know, the parts of speech go hand in hand with that, of looking at, you know, what's the action, you know, who is it that does the action and what those words are.
Now I've noticed here we have two nouns, the Olympic flag. Now let's take a look at this.
I know this
Olympic is the type of flag that it is. It's not the American flag.
The symbol often represents what the essence of each part of speech is. So the red ball, which we usually use a bouncy ball, and often in our lesson we will take the beginning lesson, the key lesson, we will take it and we will bounce the ball and they'll give a word to it. It's bouncing or it's moving, and we talk about that verbs are action, and this ball has an action when we bounce it. And so often the symbol is a little bit of a key to what that essence is of that part of speech. Your conjunction is a joining word. It's a pink link, like a link where you join Tom and Sue. You have a link also. So the symbol also helps you represent what that part of speech does for the sentence. A noun is represented as a big equilateral triangle, which represents the pyramids, one of our oldest, strongest, solid parts in our sentence. Nouns, we believe, were probably one of the first real words the people used in labeling things. So the noun is a big black equilateral triangle, and when we show it in the classroom, we show a black pyramid. Black also representing coal, which comes from a very long time ago. So the color, the symbol, represents a noun, which is such an old, strong, important part of every sentence.
After the noun, we learned the small blue triangle. Maddie, what is that?
Article.
Article. What are the three articles that we use?
A and the.
A and the. Good. Isha, after the light blue, we learned this symbol, which is dark blue. What is that called?
Adjective.
Adjective. And do you know what an adjective does?
It describes a noun.
It describes the noun. That's why.
Your article, your adjective, and your noun are all part of your noun family, because those three words go together. And so they all have triangles, and they go together as a family called the noun family.